what is up?
Nothing. Been trying to make sure that I got here on time.
Me too, man. I was zooming to get here. Hang on, I don't like our setup like this. Let's do this and do this. There we go. I don't know, for some reason that being so zoomed in, I didn't like that.
You was on the bigger.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just I'm trying to get myself situated. I was running a little late to being in here, so
Oh yeah, same. But before we get started, I know you're familiar with my new Carrots hat.
yeah.
All right, well, I got my new Thread Beast box, and look what they sent me.
You got a carrot's top.
Yo! Oh wait, I just want you to see, like, zoomed in. It has like little carrots in the name.
I can see.
Yo, I was like, oh, I gotta wear that today. So I opened it up and it was laying on top. I was like, I don't even care what's in the rest of this box. That just made my day.
Heck yeah, I made my. That's a good box. So.
So, the Reds, man. We made history this week.
Yes.
The Reds, this is the first time in 31 years that the Reds pulled off a 4-game sweep at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Yeah, and guess what happened that year?
What's that? I wasn't born yet.
They won the World Series.
Well, I'm not gonna go that far, especially if we got some angry Cubs fan in here ready to fight us. I never know. He just pops in and whenever he feels like. So I'm not gonna be that guy right now and be like, yeah, the Reds are going to the World Series. But all I'm saying is, look, they moved up. With the Cubs and the Brewers. The Brewers are on a 4-win streak right now, but the Cubs are only on like a 1-win streak because they got their ass kicked a couple games in a row. The Reds are only 4 games behind now. They were pushing 9 games last week.
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for stopping by, man. But yeah, dude, they are only 4 games behind. The Cubs play tonight. It's a big game. I think they're playing the Padres. If I think I might have made that up, but what up, Colin? But whatever game it is, it's a big game. It comes on at 10 o'clock. I'm probably going to watch it just because now the Reds are talking, I'm hoping so the Reds have a way harder schedule than the Cubs do in the upcoming month. For the month of June, I don't care what anybody says, Cubs fan, Reds fan, Dodgers fan, the Reds have one of the harder schedules coming up this month. I mean, they play the Brewers twice. They play the Padres also, and the Padres are pretty up there right now. Tatis, clowning on everybody, having a good old time.
Yes, you were right when you said that. Chicago plays at San Diego tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully, I want the Padres to cool off by the time they play Cincinnati, but I hope they kick the Cubs' ass. Because if they can kick the Cubs' ass and we can beat the Brewers this week, that puts us very close to being in first place. So a sweep or at least winning a couple of the Brewers' first series and second series because they play them 2 different series in 2 weeks. Just a couple of those wins and they're right there, for taking their division.
Yeah, it's a long season, and there's a lot of, and here's the thing. They've been weathering the storm without, whether you like him or not, without Moustakas, without Joey Votto. Aquino's still trying to heal up. So there's some parts and pieces to this team that we haven't seen in some time. So, they're starting to peak and play well at a good time. Now you get them guys back, and hopefully everybody meshes well together, and then you go on a tear through July.
I know you said whether you like him or not, but Moose is my boy. Wink is my boy and will always be my boy, but, Moose is my Kansas City boy. He's got my heart. But, I think Votto being back in the lineup is going to be huge. I've been seeing all his highlights playing in Louisville. He's looking really good right now, and if he can stay, Louisville is different than the major leagues, but if he can stay that hot and come back in the lineup, and we're able to rotate some of our guys and give a couple breathers for a couple guys, I think as long as we can carry the momentum from this sweep for the rest of June, if we can have a solid winning June, I think they can still take they're the Central, right? Yeah, the NL Central. I put a bet in 6 months ago that the Reds would win the Central. I instantly was like, that's not going to happen. The second I put that bet in, but I still think it can happen.
No, it's a realistic thought.
Like 2 weeks ago, it might have been far-fetched. But look what they've done in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, they lost some games, but they just won 4 in a row in St. Louis, which is huge. They have more wins on the road than they do at home, and they're really good at home. So, that says a lot.
Yeah, and before we go any further, in case any of our, whether it be TikTok short or YouTube shorts, people come in here that want to grief and try to tell you that Tyler Stevenson is not a rookie. He only played in 8 games last year.
He played 8 games last year. He has his rookie status through 2021. Look it up. You can fight me. He's a rookie. If you pull any 2021 cards, you're going to get a rookie card of his. It's just facts. Like, yeah, he's in his second year, but did last year even really count?
No, 8 games because he didn't go past the threshold. He wasn't on the active roster more than 45 days. He didn't have over 130 at-bats. And there's one other one in there that I can't even remember, but he didn't even come close.
Yeah, exactly. He is still a rookie until the season is over.
And I looked up the stats. Him and India are challenging for a lot of the different, categories for batting. So, we got 2 shots.
All right. I just want to tell those people wherever they came from that was talking shit to me, when he is up there in the running for Rookie of the Year, I want you to sit there and tell me he's not a rookie. Because he's in that conversation, just like Nick Castellanos and Jesse Winker is in the MVP conversation. So when we get to the end of the season and they're tallying up their votes for Rookie of the Year and you see his name on that ballot, I don't want to hear shit. I don't even want an apology for getting mad at me. I don't even want it. I just want I want the satisfaction of knowing you were wrong.
Yeah, and I posted the rules for, rookie status in Major League Baseball, and he don't come even close to any of them. So definitely
it's hard to get out of, it's hard to say a whole season. Like, he played last year. Like, this is his second year. It's hard to say his year was 8 games. Yeah, like, that's a whole season, Even on a 60-game whatever season, 8 doesn't even come close to half. That bet has to be great odds. Yeah, it was like around Super Bowl time when I put that bet in. It might have been before the Super Bowl, so like it was very far-fetched being, the Reds had just gotten their ass kicked in the playoffs by the Braves. They didn't even get one hit in one of those games. Like, they got their ass kicked. They looked horrible. And so that made, it was like probably like plus 1,000, plus 2,000 maybe even. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I put the bet in, but I put a little bit of money on it. I wasn't going to blow a bunch of money because, like, at the end of the day, it's still understandable if it doesn't happen. But after watching the Reds play this season, I think their problem deep down is David Bell. Like, look, there are a lot of fantastic teams out there right now. Like the Dodgers, but yeah, they're the most expensive team. But even like the Tampa Bay Rays are putting up a great fight this year and proving that they were worthy of being in the World Series, And then you got the Padres with Tatis, even the Braves with Acuna, like all of it. There are really good teams this year. But I still think that the Cincinnati Reds, disregard coaching, is in the top 3 best teams in the league. If they had a better coach, they probably wouldn't lose a game.
Yeah, especially if what it comes down to is that they send, and not against anything against Tyler Naquin or not against anything like the Castellanoses, the Winkers, those guys hit the ball a long way. Joey Votto, Mike Moustakas, but they're all the same type of hitter. And the biggest mistake that they've made this year is to bench Shogo.
Because Shogo needs to be in the lineup every single game. He needs to either be on the number one batting, which I'm going to say before I get too far into that is I really like having Jonathan India in the number one spot. This has skewed my thought process on it. But before this week, I think Shogo should be number one, or what they did the other day and had him at like the second or third to last, really far back or right in the number one spot. He needs to be there every single game, even if he's just a hitter, even if he's not playing in the field.
Well, I mean, his defense, and that's the other part, our defensive outfield is not that strong. I mean, they make a few plays, but they're not great defenders. They're great hitters. You need a defender in center field.
But I agree completely. Shogo was phenomenal in the field. When I posted my TikTok when Shogo got reinstated, all of those highlights, I had like one hit on there, and it was like a deep ball that bounced on the wall. It was almost a home run. But like almost every highlight I posted in that highlight reel were all fielding clips. That little Asian boy has my heart, man. He is phenomenal. You don't get a great player to let him sit on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, you don't bring him over from Japan, waste the best years that he has left for sure, because he's in his early 30s, so he's got 3-4 really good years, maybe more, because Ichiro played up until he was in his 40s. I don't even know, he might still be playing, I'm not sure.
I think he might be, actually.
But Shogo needs to play, and he needs to get into rhythm, and that's one of the mistakes that they're making. The good thing is that the only good thing about Joey Votto's injury this year is that Tyler Stevenson learned how to play first base.
And he's doing well.
Yes. So guess what? Now you're getting him more at bats. He's getting to play in the field a little bit more. You know what? And you can guess what? Joey's 38 years old. You can give him a day off now because you've got another replacement for him. And you can keep a big bat in the lineup and you're not losing anything. It's really going to be interesting to see who they deal and if they trade before the trade deadline, because obviously something's wrong with Amir Garrett in the brain. That guy's got the best slider in baseball, and he can't throw a strike that's not 80 miles an hour and let people crush it. So something's wrong with his head. They may end up having to trade him. Lucas Sims and TJ Antone in the closer role or in the setup role are doing phenomenal. Just a couple more guys in that bullpen.
I really was not a fan of Lucas Sims over the last few weeks before the last few weeks, but he has really warmed up into his closing role. And, he had a solid closeout last night. Yeah, it was a very nerve-wracking. Seriously, they had a guy on second and third for all 3 outs. Yep. That game could have been over really quickly. But, and, he held his composure. But a guy like Amir Garrett in the place he's in right now would have gave up 12 runs. And, it sucks because I do like that guy. And I do think he is a great pitcher. But, you can't do whatever he's doing. Go to therapy, man. Whatever you got to do, but you got to get your head right if you're going to play Major League Baseball and you want a job. But I also heard some good news yesterday that I just lost his name, Lorenzen.
Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah, they're going to put him in the bullpen instead of throwing him straight out on the mound and let him play in the bullpen for a while, and I think that's really smart.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a guy. Now, this is a guy that's an emotional player, but he plays within his head, right? He doesn't lose his composure when he plays. He's got a pretty solid fastball, pushing 98, and I know that his off-speed pitches are both progressing. He had the surgery. He's been on the DL. We'll see how he does. I'm probably going to see if I can catch some footage of him in Louisville or in Dayton if he goes out for a rehab start or play. But I do want to see how he does when he comes up. And there's a couple weak spots left in that bullpen that we could really shore up. And here's the other thing. Michael Lorenzen can hit. He can play the field. He's an outfielder. He's a base runner. He's an athlete. And you can always use more athletes.
Speaking of hitting, we don't see this very often, but Castillo the other night, dude almost hit a home run, and he's like Shohei without the Gorilla Glue, man. Like, like that was phenomenal. And if he can start, I don't want him to start shooting for the hills every time he's at bat because he bunts a lot, and that's perfectly fine as a pitcher. But like, if he can do that, man, that is awesome because, a lot of our starting pitchers don't have great batting average. It's a low 100.
Sonny Gray's a good athlete, and Sonny Gray's a good athlete. Wade Miley can swing the bat, but we don't have really good hitters in the pitcher slots, except for Brinson.
Hey, what's up, Peyton? Thanks for stopping by, man.
So, I was really stoked. I thought they blew that game. I thought the bullpen had let them down, and then coming up in the ninth inning, Jesse Winker against a guy that had never given up a home run to a left-handed hitter and dropped a nasty curveball, and he put it in the seats.
Yeah, dude. So what happened that game, I was really irritated. So obviously, I was at work. I was like, all right, I'm off the clock. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch the Reds at bat at the top of the sixth. They struck out, ground out, whatever. It was 7-0 going in the bottom of the sixth. I walk out to my car. And I start driving home. Before I even get to the spot where I lose service, which is 3 minutes away, it was 7-0. So I was very mad. It was like 2-7, 4-7, 6-7, 7-7 in 6 minutes. So I was really irritated. I rushed home because I was going to buy some more cards yesterday, and so I was like, Shelby, come on, we gotta go. I can't watch it at home anyway. So I turned the Sirius radio on, and we're like driving. And as soon as they got out to the end of that inning, it was the top of the ninth, and I said, and they made the statement right before going to the top of the ninth. They were like, it's starting rotation. Jesse and Nick are batting first, and I said he's gonna hit a home run right here. Like, I knew he already hit 2, but I said he's gonna hit a home run right here. And like, it was like the second swing. He fouled the ball and then hit a dinger, right? And you could hear them. They were like saying, it's getting close, and it went down right on the edge of being a home run. And I was like, dude, I knew it. And then it's just like, then we go into the bottom of the ninth, and I have never like had my nerves up so high watching a Reds game.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of cards that got given away, hey, I want to take a couple minutes to thank JP from JP Lawns and Moors and Benzo Gold for hooking us up with some fantastic cards. A lot of them, they were just given to us, and then the others were sold to us at a fantastic price so that Alex could build the collection and she can show them however she wants. But there were some really neat cards in that. And those two guys, both of them have gold prospecting channels, and JP live streams on Saturday night. He gets a little drunk and calls it JP's bar. But anyway, those guys really hooked up Alex, and there was some really nice stuff in there. There was a nice Michael Jordan. There was a Sonny Gray rookie when he was at Oakland, and a few other cards.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Shelby, when we get the free time to sit down and be able to go through all of them, we're gonna have a video out on Card Sharks. Also, for anybody not subscribed to Card Sharks, you need to do so. We got a pretty cool video coming out either today or tomorrow. I've been editing on it all day, and I'm really excited because we opened our score football fat packs, me and Shelby, last night. And we both pulled some pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, I'm really excited to post that either tonight or tomorrow. And so, definitely, Shelby, if you want to drop your link, go subscribe to Shelby's link for Card Sharks. Me, Dad, and Shelby, and probably anybody else, if they actually want a video of their cards to go up, can do so. Because, like, we don't turn away cards. We put out videos every single day. Even most of them are just shorts right now, but taking the time to record an actual sit down takes a little bit. The shorts are a lot easier and a lot easier to edit. So, but we put out at least a short every single day, and we have more videos coming than you can ever imagine because we opened cards 2 weeks ago and I don't even have all the videos up yet.
I've got 4 full videos on record already that I just haven't edited.
That's what I'm saying. When Ethan came over and we all opened cards together, we opened like 40 packs of cards or more. And I still got like 10 or 11 videos to put up of that. I've been editing them and putting them up at least one every day. I put out a couple. If Amanda is in here, I don't know if she is. We did post the video of the card pack, the NFL Centennial pack. We posted that up 2 days ago. And for those who have probably already seen it, if they're on this live, the card video we posted on It's in the Blood. I've taken it down, but I reposted the last football video. It's on Card Sharks now, and we decided that it's for the better to put all our cards in one place. So,
yeah, absolutely. And it's not that. It's just it's better for the whole intent of the channels, right?
Absolutely.
So, but I know, and I really didn't honestly expect us to go this long on the Reds. But and I know we're not happy with the NBA playoffs, how some of the games turned out and where we're at right now. But we're starting the semifinal round, and the first thing that happens is Atlanta steals one from Philadelphia and takes the early lead.
I think Atlanta is the team to look out for. I know they're only like a 5 or 6 seed, but they've been hot, man. Also, I know you're typing in the chat, and just so Peyton knows, the Ohio River history, if he types in it, that is also him. That is his other account. And anybody else in here, if they don't know, Ohio River history is him, 100%. It's in the blood. It's up. You can make your guesses on who's who when it's being typed. But okay, now you're just being confusing now because neither of those were me.
So I have both. So the StreamYard account lets me type in It's in the Blood because that's the lead account on here right now. So we're both using the same username and password, but I have my other one in here so I can watch it on YouTube and I can also chat to specific comments. And we ain't forgetting about Shelby.
We'll never forget about you, man.
Yeah, Shelby has developed most of the stuff for the Card Sharks channel, and she's really putting it out there. And I think she's doing most of the social media for it too, right?
Well, we have no social media for Card Sharks. We only have TikTok, and that's where it's all in her hands, 100%.
But yeah, it's we're making a group effort to see what we can do and what we can make work on here. It's a lot of fun.
Also, Peyton, I just want to give a shout out to Peyton, man. This is Shelby's nephew, if you didn't know that. But he's freaking awesome. He's been hooking us up with some cards. He got us the Patrick Mahomes Texas Tech jersey card and the Ickey Woods auto. So that's where that came from.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's that
card master.
So I want to get back on this before I lose my thunder. Well, there's really not much thunder to lose, but the Atlanta played a great game against Philadelphia in game 1. They got the early lead in that series. And
he's becoming incredible. Like he was already good, but like he is getting incredible.
He's got that run. He's got a lot of that Steph Curry from.
He reminds me. He just have you ever heard him talk?
No, I haven't.
Oh, This is the only thing about him that just gets me.
Is it worse than Lamar?
No, it's not like that. You can't hang on. I'm pulling up a video.
Okay. Well, good. You pull up a video. But
it's worth a watch.
But yeah, Trae Young was he was a little bit much of a gunslinger for the college game that he was involved in, and everyone knew that coming out he was going to be a star in the NBA if they could get him under control. Well, what happened is that they never really got him under control, but the more he shot, the better he got, the more went in, and now he's turning into a legitimate superstar, and they have got a fantastic chance to really knock off Philadelphia.
I mean, Philadelphia is hot, but Trae Young is on fire, man. But yeah, Devin Booker, I just love it because, like, not only did they knock the Lakers out, which was probably the greatest thing that happens in the first round this year, but everyone was discrediting Devin Booker game after game after game all season long, and like he showed up in the playoffs. Like he was the biggest factor in their winning, honestly. Like he went off. And so I was very impressed. I mean, I love the Suns in general. I love Chris Paul being there. Like I'm not a Devin Booker diehard or anything because, like, Shelby is, but that's, Kentucky. But, I am impressed, and I like watching him progress as an NBA player.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, where was I getting at on there? So, now we got the Western Conference first games tonight. So,
well, I mean, we can talk about the Eastern Conference first game. James Harden left with only 2 points in the game scored, but the Brooklyn Nets still rallied and made it past them.
He has been ruled out for game 2 as well.
Yeah, I did know that.
So, I mean, Brooklyn's going to have to do it without, but that's the reason why they put this team together the way they did, so that if one piece went down or went away, that,
let's be real, though. Like, they've had one piece down at least all season. They're used to this. But for the most part, it was Kevin Durant. And then, as the later went on, when KD came back, it was Kyrie and James Harden going out. But he's been dealing with a hamstring injury for a while. And, you don't really want to mess with your hamstrings.
No, it needs to heal. But if he's got to keep it tight and tape. I'm not sure I know his status, he's out for game 2. But, I'm not going to go into my predict mode already yet. But, I don't think them being down that superstar makes it impossible for them to win the series. So that just tells me that with all three available, they're definitely probably going to win that series. If not, they might win. It's probably going to go a little longer. But Brooklyn still held on and won without Harden on the floor, which is a good thing. And then Atlanta, I'm that's my new Cinderella who I'm pulling for, because I was for the Knicks just because they played team ball and they got their butts whipped. So now I'm going to pull for the team that beat them, and after that I'm gonna sit here with Phoenix in the West. I want to see Phoenix win the West, really do.
I mean, now that the Mavs are out, which I was already pulling for the Suns, because I just, like I said, I love them, but I was definitely more so pulling for the Mavs, and it was disheartening. But deep down, at the end of the day, there's no way they were going to let both LA teams get knocked out in the first round. just to be real here. But I mean, Kawhi went off in Game 7, and everyone stepped up with him. Their entire team was good. Everything that they did was good. So you can't argue with their Game 7 win. But I mean, Luka did everything he could, and you can't win a game with one guy.
Just 1 second.
Oh my God! I found the video I was looking for. Let me get through this ad. And then I will share screen so you can be introduced to the Trae Young. Video will play after ad. You want to let me skip the ad? Stupid. Loki.
Yeah, he's a little pissy.
All right, here we go. Share screen. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, just as long as my link works that I just posted. Yes, go.
What? Oh, okay. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
All right.
Here with Trae Young. Trae, we saw you towards the end there, playing to the crowd. I believe you said we're here in the A. How did it feel to get your first playoff win in front of this sold-out crowd?
It feels good. It feels great. First playoff experience at the house, and it feels good. The fans brought the energy tonight, and we just rode that wave to the
first playoff home win. 14 assists, just 2 turnovers, along with 21 points. Can you describe how the game was coming to you throughout this one?
Yeah, they were a little bit more aggressive on me tonight, trapping and trying to get the ball out of my hands. And we had guys that were, missing a couple shots on the road and got some to fall tonight, and it was great to see that.
These playoffs, you told me pregame that you're locked in to disproving the narrative that you guys can't win. What do you think you guys proved in this game tonight?
Just a little bit more. We ain't proved nothing yet. We still haven't won the series. We still got a long ways to go. We got 2 more to win, and we just got to stay locked in, like I said, and finish it off.
Congrats on the win and the 2-1
lead. He does kind of sound like Bieber, like a younger Bieber, not like a Bieber now. It's too good. I can't. Just disappeared. I can make my I don't even know what I was gonna say. Mine look just like yours. But it's me now. I'm you. Oh.
So anywho.
His voice, man. What'd you think?
Better than Lamar?
No, dude. His voice sounds so funny. I can't. Hey, what up, JP? We were just talking about you.
What's up, brother?
Thanks for the cards, man. We really appreciated that. We're going to make a special video. I'll make sure to give you a shout out.
Heck yeah. Yeah, JP gave us, I explained it earlier, but gave us a heck of a deal and a lot of free stuff. And he's truly a great guy. I enjoyed hanging out with him Saturday. And by the way, JP, just so you know, in case you didn't read or see yet, I got it back, brother.
He got it back.
It took a little bit of a trip before I got it, but I got it back. And for what it's worth, I'm pretty sure I must have dropped it on the road up there. I got it back from the Kentucky State Police post in Campbellsburg. A truck driver picked it up in a garbage can in I can't think of the name of the town. Batavia, yeah, just outside of Cincinnati. And I saw my name was the Kentucky address and dropped it off at the state police post that's about 20 or 30 miles from here. So they called me.
Like 20 minutes. It's not like 20 miles.
It is 20 miles.
To Campbellsburg? Like, it's like 10 minutes.
Okay, but you're right. It's 15. It's closer. It's but anyway, it's like 6 miles to get to the interstate, and then it's another 10 miles. So right there. But anyway, the semi was he was from Louisville anyway, and then so he picked it up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, or 5 or 2. I'm sorry, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then turned it in down here at like 6 because he was unloading or whatever. Anyway, long story short, they didn't call me till almost 3 o'clock, 2:30, and but yeah, I got it back. The only thing I lost was the money. It is right by our doctor. Yes,
that's how I know it's only like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I get there fast. But anyway,
it's literally right next to it.
The only thing I lost was $84, dude, and I'm happy as hell.
I mean, $84 are basically your whole life, so.
Yep, and then I packed away things into the safe now, so now it doesn't have near as much in it. So anywho, yeah, I was happy. It was really disheartening that we couldn't find it, but I'm glad it turned out well. But getting back to these playoffs tonight, what do you think about? I'm really not that interested in the Utah Clippers series.
Well, surprisingly or not surprising, depending on who you are, the Clippers are favored to win that series.
I don't know. Usually, I mean, that's where a number one seed has its issues. It's in the conference semis. So I might say that might fly. We'll see tonight. We'll see if the Clippers can continue that momentum at home and play through this game and get a home win, put some pressure on these guys. If they do that, I think it might be a good deal. But I don't think they can afford to lose home games like they did last series and win the series.
I agree too, because I think Utah is going to play really tough at home.
Yeah, they have been playing well at home and on the road, so we'll see. But I'm kind of interested in the Phoenix and Denver series. I really wanted to see Phoenix and Portland, but that's the one I'm interested in for this evening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how the Nets and the Bucks plays out. Like, I'm not gonna say like I'm excited for this game or this game, but like as a whole, I'm excited for how that plays out because like I think deep down that's gonna be like a really good series because they're KD and Kyrie and not James Harden currently, but they got a super team. They got Steve Nash coaching them. He's the GOAT in my mind. And they have a solid team around those guys. But, like Giannis didn't win MVP like 2 or 3 times in like a row for nothing. Like he's a good player despite being 12 feet tall, and it's a cheat code. But they do have a solid team. I mean, I watched them lose some games they shouldn't have lost this year, and so that is the only like worry for them. I don't care if they lose because like I don't care if they lose. But the Nets have done the same thing. They've lost games they shouldn't have lost this year, and it gives a big concern for both sides, which makes this a very evenly matched. I think the Nets have the edge, but I think it's still fairly matched on both sides. And so, like, I'm just excited to watch it play out. I watched a lot of the first game.
I think Thursday night, I have a feeling that Thursday night that these playoffs are going to end up dominating conversation. I just have that feeling that that's where we're going to be headed with the way these games go. I think they're going to surprise us. I think they're both going to be really good games tonight. And I just think that will be a big topic on Thursday. So I just have that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Yeah, I know you're not an NBA fan, but I feel like I've kind of pushed you to be a little bit.
Well, I mean, I watch playoff basketball. I mean, the regular season in the NBA just drives me nuts. It's just it's all about seeding, and it's for show. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I had any sport to choose, it wouldn't be basketball. But I love Luka Doncic, and I love watching that man play ball. So speaking of, as of today, he went back to his home country, and he's playing on their national team to try to get them into the Olympics.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either, and I mean, I like it. Like, I like the idea of it. Like, theoretically, I love that, and that's super awesome. He's doing that for his hometown and home team, but he's hurt.
Yeah, I don't want to see. I don't want to see these NBA guys swing out and go out and play for these other countries, and then if something happens to them and ruins their NBA career, it's going to be shit. So.
Yeah, that's a major concern. I mean, like, I think it's super awesome what he's doing, and he's got the talent to be able to help them and push them to that. But, like, look, he struggled in the playoffs because he was hurt. He's on a plane right now going over there to play ball, and I'm like, you need to rest. And I don't know when exactly he's going to be playing again, with this team. But I hope it's enough time for him to heal properly. It was a long season for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And but I respect that he wants to play for his country, and I hope he comes out of it not injured and comes back to the NBA strong next season.
I mean, yeah, if there's some time in between where he can rest and get a little healthy, it can only help him. But if it's like right away, preparation and everything, like, it might be too soon. And then but you have to think, he's a 22-year-old kid. He is a star in this country. His dad was a baller over there. Like, you being 22, you want to do it all, especially when you are already considered a great. And so I can see his mindset and why he wants to jump into this. He's still a kid. He's got a lot to learn.
Yeah, that's just it. That's the way it goes, right? I mean, you've got to learn your way. He's still a kid. I'm sure he's got an agent that's speaking for him in a lot of ways. So hopefully they just make the right choices. I don't want to see a great career, a potentially record-breaking career, go down the tubes because of playing extra basketball that he doesn't have to play. But I do respect that he wants to play for his country.
Yeah, I mean, he could go down as one of the greatest of all time if he can stay healthy and have a long, healthy career.
And I don't. And the other thing is that I hate rushing us along today, but I really feel like that the trade with Julio Jones today and the details of the trade and how it's going to play out is going to end up being part of probably the meat of our conversation today. So what do you think about going to Tennessee?
Okay, well, I've got a couple perspectives that comes with a couple different opinions. Look, if I'm sitting as a Tennessee Titan or their coach, I think this is genius. Like, they've got A.J. Brown, who's only a couple years into the league, and he's getting good. Like, he gets better every year. He is a great receiver. But other than that, they only have Derrick Henry for the most part. Henry is their team. And as much as I don't like Ryan Tannehill, he is Buzz Lightyear to me, dude. As much as I don't like Ryan Tannehill, he does have a decent arm and can throw the deep ball if need be. Because people like A.J. Brown can catch them. I think he's underrated. That guy specifically, I think he's an underrated receiver just because there's too many top talents in the league right now that covers up names like his. And so, I think having Julio is going to help their team if they play their cards right. Oh, yeah, and then there's this. He said he wanted a ring, but then he went to the Titans because they're giving him money. Yeah, they're not going to win a ring. It's just not going to happen. First of all, no one wants to see that, and it's not going to happen. But from another perspective, from a Julio Jones fan, I absolutely hate this trade. I think it's going to be good for him. He's still going to get the same number of receptions and yards that he always gets because, Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill, but, they don't have very many options to throw the ball to, and he knows he's going to get the ball almost every single time now, and so he's going to get the receptions and yards he wants. But I think, as much as I didn't want him in the North, I think Baltimore should have fought for him. I think that would have been great for them because they're very similar style to Tennessee and, heavy on the run game, except for that they have a running back for a quarterback and they have a couple good running backs under their roster as well. I mean, not with the title of Derrick Henry, but they have good running backs. I think Baltimore should have fought for him. They got Sammy. Like, what did they – I still, at the end of the day, I'm like, why did they think that was going to change for them getting Sammy Watkins? I love Sammy so much, and, I throw dirt on his name every time I talk about him. But it's just true. And so, I don't want Baltimore to do well because I don't like Baltimore and I don't like Lamar Jackson. Like, I think I want Baltimore to lose more because they have Lamar Jackson than because they're in the Bengals division. Like, that's how much I don't like him. And then at the, another opinion on the Julio trade is, like, I think it's smart that he didn't actually go to San Francisco. I think it would have been a good fit for him there, but San Francisco needs to watch what they're doing. If they would have traded for him, the best that they had was this upcoming year as a third-round pick. Like, they've already given up a lot to get Trey Lance. There's no reason for them to make any big trades like that.
Well, and they have cap issues come up next year anyway. Tennessee. Here's the thing, and this is why I don't understand Tennessee, because Tennessee in the offseason let go of Jonnu Smith, went to the Patriots, who was a great tight end, and then Corey Davis and Adam Humphries, who were both respectable pass catchers in this offense. Corey Davis went to the Jets.
Of Malcolm Butler.
Corey Davis went to the Jets, and Adam Humphries went to the Washington football team. And, those were both guys that could catch the ball. I mean, those three guys accounted for over almost 200 targets last season. So, I mean, but now it just looks like it's just Julio. And so they have got to put the right pieces around him, or he's going to get the same double team treatment and beat to a pulp like he got everywhere else he played.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with Julio saying that he wants to play for a ring. You know what? He's got a better chance this year of playing for a ring in Tennessee than he probably did in Atlanta, to be honest.
He has a better chance, but they got Kyle Pitts. I think things might be turning. If with Julio staying, I think things might have been turning around a little bit.
Well, but here's the thing. Now, I mean, that receiving core is really looking good. I mean, even without Julio Jones, because now you get a chance to move Calvin Ridley up to the 1. I think he's ready for that jump. And then you put – I
like Calvin Ridley.
And I don't think – and I'm going to come out and say it early now – but I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to be playing a lot of tight end type routes. He's going to be playing like a big wide receiver. Watch.
I mean, he's got the ability to do so why not?
He's got the size and the ability, and then a small cornerback he's going to be able to take advantage of, because then they're going to have to put a linebacker out there to cover him because of his size. And guess what? That makes for mismatches because he's incredibly fast. I love that draft. I wish we would have got Kyle Pitts in Cincinnati, but
I'm fine with Chase. I've gotten over it, and I'm fine with Chase.
I just that was if he was getting a receiver, that was the guy I thought.
I mean, there is no better player in the draft than Kyle Pitts.
But he went fourth, so we'll never know if they were going to take him or not. But going through this trade, the Titans out of the deal, they get a 2023. They get Julio Jones and a 6th-round pick in 2023. The Falcons get a 2nd-round pick and a 4th-round pick in 2023. So
that's a fair trade.
Yeah, I did not think that it merited a number 1 for a 32-year-old wide receiver. So I think it's a pretty even swap.
I don't think Tennessee should have gotten a pick. I think 2 picks for Julio. is fair. 2 picks for Julio and a pick. It's just like, why? You know, like you're good Julio.
I think that extra 6th round pick next year was just icing on the cake. I think that's probably everybody else or giving up that 6th round pick made the Titans want it that much more because now they got an extra draft pick next year, and the Falcons the Falcons had no choice. They had to get draft capital because they're so far the salary cap. They're so far into it. I mean, he has a 3-year, $66 million contract. And that's a lot of money that the Titans now inherit in full.
Yeah, right. I agree. Yo, what up, Brockton? I just want to let you know I stopped by your stream the other day when you were driving home from going out magnet fishing. I didn't say anything, but I was just watching because I was laughing at you guys, you and 508. It was pretty funny. But the comment I was going to leave in the chat, but I didn't know anybody in there, so I didn't do it. But I just wanted to ask you what was the shit you had on your head. That hat looked terrible, bro. Why would you make that face for?
I don't know. Because, man, it just seems like you're just calling the dude out the second he walks in here.
He's our homie. Homies call out homies. My hat's got carrots on it. Can't argue with that. Gives you good eyesight, dude. But that was what I was gonna say, but I didn't. You should see the video. There's more of it I put out today. Yeah, I got the notification for your video, but I was at work. And then I just ran home as fast as I could just to hop on our live. So I will definitely check it out this evening.
Anyway, what's up, Sean? Nice to see you tonight. Thanks for stopping in here while we kind of pound it out. So
yeah, I told Shelby before we started tonight, I was like, we got some good content to talk about tonight as a whole.
Hey, you know what? When the sports week and when it aligns up properly, and you get to see something in the NFL today that's been anxiously awaited, and then you have great topics like the NBA playoffs that are going on full force, and then the Reds kicked the Cardinals' ass. They won 4 games on the road, which was super important for their season. Because if they was to go in there and get their butts handed to them, they might have broke the team up. They might have started trading. So, good. Now we got a day off today, and then we start another 3-game series with the Brewers tomorrow, and those are just as big. We need to win 2 out of those 3.
I'm here for another set of brooms, dude. I want it all. If we could sweep 2 of our division, you know how big that would be back to back?
Yeah, it would be huge, honestly.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen. So I don't like to get my hopes up with the Reds.
And we're gonna have to delve into this a little bit, but I want to do some research before we do. But there is a lot of big time talk on other sports channels behind the scenes about pitchers cheating using substances on the ball, and it's becoming a big time topic. And I really think it's something that we need to learn about a little bit more and investigate, because the terminology talking about guys' spin rate is getting to be really big on these curveballs. And if they think that they're cheating, then it's really going to slow down pitching in baseball. So I think that that's gonna come up at some point.
For sure, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, because
so we can have a good discussion about it.
Yeah, and then I say that because I flip over to one of my sports pages, and then the first part of that article that I read is that I've been listening to it on Mad Dog's Sirius channel, and now I see it on the front of. But he was talking about how the announcers won't talk about it in fear of repercussions from their teams. So it was kind of a tricky deal. I'm gonna hit that up. Anyway,
Like I said, I got a notification about it a bit ago. Yeah, I feel like I did too, and I just overlooked it because I was at work. I had a very productive, unproductive day today.
Me too.
Haha, me too. Click. Me too. Who's seeing double? Double trouble. I wish I could change my picture. I'd make it. I'd copy you. I'd do the same thing. Just get up and dip on me. You don't even give me warning. You just do it. Also, Brockton, I'm sorry I came at you, but I thought it was funny. But I was laughing at your stream. I was having a good time, and I just didn't say anything. I was just enjoying it. I did drop a like though.
No, it's all pretty good. Sorry about that. My phone was going off, and I had to make sure it wasn't working.
Why can't you? Because we're under the same account, so our account's connected. So whatever he does is what I have to work with.
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to, she can take a free version and not make it as, programmable or customizable. But
yeah, but we already have a good setup going. I don't need a profile picture because I will just walk away. I don't have to take my camera down. Or I can just remove me from the stream completely.
So anyway, going forward, Atlanta is now Julio Jones free. I haven't looked at where they ended up on their cap, but now they can sign their draft picks because they were that low on salary cap that they didn't have no choice. So,
speaking of draft picks, the Bengals finally signed Chase.
It's about an average for them. They usually wait until mid-June to get most, unless it's guys that they picked up as free agents after the draft that nobody drafted. They usually sign them pretty quick.
I don't think the trade has officially been made. All the details are there. It's supposed to happen within the next 24 to 48 hours.
I thought it happened this afternoon at 4:00, but I'm not sure.
Well, that was where it was at as of yesterday. I knew it was happening, so I stopped following it. I know it's coming if it's not there.
Yeah, it just says, it doesn't say that it's done, but Jones' cap hit was $23 million.
Still not as bad as Roethlisberger's.
That the Patriots
and the
should be considering.
Where are you at?
They consider it, bringing aboard Julio Jones. Yes, I absolutely
what
think
the hell?
And I do think that they will because.
So and then if they waited until after June 1st, their cap hit was only they saved almost $17 million against the cap.
That's not bad. I mean, you still lost a probably future Hall of Famer, but it's not bad.
They probably lost one of the top 5 receivers in the game, but you know what? It's kind of ingenious. I mean, AJ Green at 32 is gone. Julio Jones at 32 has been traded. Are these guys going to continue to produce like they did? Probably not. Are they still going to be effective? Absolutely. But that's about the time when they start cutting loose these guys. So it seems like the Falcons made a good business trade, honestly.
I just I don't know. I kind of like the idea of when you have a stud to keep them there their whole career. I love that. It hurt my feelings when Peyton left. I mean, he went and got him another ring. Can't be mad about that. But, I like the idea of someone starting and finishing their career in one place, especially someone who's had a good career.
Yeah. And you can understand that the guy wants to win a Super Bowl and he's never been to one, but I just think he ended up in the wrong place.
He's been to a Super Bowl. He did just 28-3, bro. Brockton knows all about that.
Oh yeah, that's true. They did make it against Brady one year.
Yeah, 28-3 in the fourth quarter. That's how you piss off a Falcons fan. You just got to say 28-3.
Oh, didn't tell you. Guess what happened to me today?
Did you go fishing too?
I wish I went fishing.
Oh, Nick did.
Today?
Yeah.
We didn't, unless he went right after work.
No, it was at work.
I don't even want to know.
What happened today?
My windshield got broke.
What? The Sorrento?
Yep. I've got my claim in. They're going to be out on the 16th to change it.
What happened? Are we on 42?
Oh.
Well, what'd you do?
A rock came up from behind a car, smashed it.
Not on 42?
Not on 42.
That makes it suck worse. On 42, it's understandable.
Yeah, I expected it to happen there, but no. I got a 24-inch long crack in my windshield.
Jesus, how big was the rock?
It was small, but it hit up high, and then it splintered.
I don't know what you did in a past life for this week to be attacking you, but damn, dude.
I know. I'm persevering. Like I said, they're going to be out to fix it.
I mean, yeah, at least it's getting fixed like before vacation.
Yeah, that was all I cared about. They gave me, but the 16th was as early as I could get somebody out. So,
I'm gonna go ahead and drop this link today. The last couple streams we didn't even drop a link.
I know,
but
because we talk too damn much.
But it's fine when we're having good conversation. But every once in a while, it would be nice to have those good conversations with someone.
I can't tell, Shelby, because I'll send you guys a picture here in a little bit, but where it hit was at the very top, and I can't see it.
Yeah, you're not tall enough. Me neither. If that happened to me, that'd be the final straw.
Yeah, but at least your insurance is in Kentucky, not Indiana. Because in Indiana, you have to pay for it. In Kentucky, the state pays for it.
Hell yeah. Then it will stay in Kentucky.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's this month. Anyway, gotta say though, with the Reds sweeping the Cardinals, heading in, getting ready to play Milwaukee tomorrow with a 3-game set. And then the NBA playoffs didn't turn out how we wanted to kind of see them turn out so far, but they're going forward, and it's going to be entertaining watching these 4 series play out, and then getting in, and we finally got some, I guess, noteworthy NFL news with them finally making the deal to get Jones out of Atlanta, which we all knew.
I mean, they're still talking about Rodgers as well.
Yeah, I was really avoiding the conversation because it's like at this point, I care more about the Deshaun Watson case than I do what Aaron Rodgers is doing.
I mean, agreed. Also, anybody that wants to come up and join and chat with us, just hit that link and you can do so. Also, on top of buying new cards, we were just going to wait until the new one came out, but the new 2K21, well, it's not really new, but it was on sale, so we picked that up, and I'm going to start playing that today. There she is.
What's up?
What's going on?
Same old, same old.
So, Miss Shelby, what did it, out of the 3 topics of conversation today, which one were you most opinionated about?
I don't know. I feel like a good combination of all 3 of the main. I don't enjoy the Julio Jones trade that much. It's not super impressive at all. I mean, maybe once we get some more details about it, then I'll change my mind, but I don't think so. Just because he was just going on about, like, man, I really want to win a ring. I want to win a ring. And then you go to the Titans.
Yeah, he almost went to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
you go from like big name, like, well, not big name teams, but teams with big name players that are in contention, in contention.
The details are there's no really other details other than they traded a 6th-round pick in Julio Jones for a second and a third, a second this coming year and a third the year after. So, I mean, that seems like a pretty fair trade, honestly.
Yeah, that's actually one of the more fair trades that we've seen this season. Most of them have been outrageous.
Yeah, or there was something hidden in it, or it was a financial decision. But yeah, I mean, I really think it didn't really have although it was a big story today, but it was just a lot of the Atlanta media getting in there. What's up, Metal Angler? Getting in there and talking about, how they felt about it. And there's a lot of the media down there that didn't want to see that thing happen, but from a business stance, it almost had to.
Right. I see it. I mean, I understand it.
I understand.
Tennessee was in need of a wide receiver. Julio wanted to go to a team that doesn't choke. Tennessee doesn't necessarily choke. I don't like them, and they're probably my least favorite team in football. But they have a solid team right now. I mean, they've made the playoffs every year for the last couple of years. They've been on a good run the last couple of years, and so I see the potential. A part of me thinks Julio's okay with it because he wants to be a game changer. He wants to be the reason they take the next step. And it's just like other, these first round picks getting drafted, first overall, they're like, they picked me, I'm going to change and fix this team. It doesn't happen that way, but like, that's the mindset. And, like a veteran like Julio, he thinks maybe this is speculation also, but like maybe he thinks he can, fix that team, to get them there, to make the next step needed to get them in the Super Bowl because they feel as if they're right there on the edge. But I mean, when you depend on one guy and one guy only, Derrick Henry, you really can't expect to.
The good thing about the whole combination of Julio Jones and Derrick Henry is that Derrick Henry provides Julio Jones some single coverage because of how teams have to defend Derrick Henry. So there's going to be a lot of single outside coverage, and I think that's the main reason that they decided to go get him, because Julio is a playmaker on the outside, and that's really what they needed. So Derrick Henry affords Julio Jones a better season if he runs the ball well. If he doesn't run the ball well, Julio Jones is going to get beat to death.
Yeah, I saw this meme yesterday, and it was like Julio Jones looking at Tennessee's playbooks, and all of them just said, hand the ball to Derrick Henry. There was like 12 of them.
I mean, it's just like the Baltimore Ravens, hand the ball off or Lamar run the ball.
Yeah.
And it proved to be true that those are their two main plays, because when Lamar went out and he got hurt and they brought RG3 and Trace McSorley in, they did the exact same thing with him, both of them. I mean, Trace McSorley made a pretty good play when their backup team had to play against the Steelers because of COVID. That he almost led them to coming back and beating the Steelers.
Yeah. I thought they were going to win that one.
As to how this plays out.
Oh, here's the other guy of the hour we were talking about. It's like their ears were buzzing.
Hey, Benzo. Hey, we had a conversation. I got to hand off those cards that you handed over the other day. to Alex and Shelby last night. They absolutely adored them. They were very thankful. They'll probably tell you here as soon as I'm done running my trap. But much appreciated. Thank you for the nice cards. It was excellent hanging out this weekend.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much, Benzo. We really appreciate it. Our card collection is only getting started for the most part, and so having some of those pieces that you gave us were really nice, and we are both very appreciative. And like I told JP, when we do get the time to sit down and go through all the cards that we got from both of you, we'll have a nice shout out for you guys in our video when we, like I said, when we get the time to sit down and actually really go through them.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I was really stoked. Just looking through, for a few minutes for the first second when we got them, I was really jacked up about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to sit down and actually go through them and see what all's there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of going to be a lot of excitement there for sure.
I mean, I'm already excited. I was excited before we got them. Yeah,
it's you got me thinking about it, even though I didn't want to talk about it. But it's a complete stalemate in Green Bay right now. Green Bay has no reason to back down from to give Aaron anything that he wants, and he's not backing down. So, what do you think about Jordan Love being the starter in the NFC North this year?
Well, they haven't picked up a starter quarterback yet, so they obviously. They obviously have a little bit of faith in him. At the beginning of all this, I felt like they didn't believe in Jordan Love at all. They were offering trades to get rid of him. But now, he's still there despite everything happening right now. But so, I think it's becoming more of a reality. I think Green Bay did sign a quarterback in the last couple weeks. I just don't remember who it was.
They did.
I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so I don't know. That situation's so weird, man. Like, we knew this would happen. The same thing happened with Brett Favre.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Why would you want out? I mean, honestly.
No, they're in the AFC Championship every single year. It's not my fault. It's not the world's fault that you guys just can't win. You literally make it further than 28 other teams every year. Every single year. It's not like you don't have anything. You do it every year.
And the one guy that's helping them get there is the one guy they can't make happy. But you know what? I think they should have traded him on draft day. You can imagine what they could have got for him on draft day.
They could have pretty much got any quarterback they wanted. Except for maybe Lawrence. I don't think Jacksonville was giving up their pick, but anybody else, probably.
The other thing is that Green Bay signed Blake Bortles.
That's who it was. I knew they signed somebody, but like I said, they did not sign a starter yet.
And Blake Bortles is considered a has-been in the league. Do you realize he's still only 29 years old?
I mean, it's just like Cody Zeller. We thought he was like 100, but he's only 28.
I find that amazing. I mean, he is Jesus. Aaron Rodgers is 37 and Blake Bortles is only 29. I thought they were about the same age.
I mean, Blake Bortles, we haven't seen very much of him. We've just known of him pretty much. And so, he just bounces around these teams. And, time flies. And you just see the guy's name pop up here and there. You just feel like, oh, yeah, I heard about him a couple years ago. And you just keep saying that every time you hear about him. And then he's like, oh, that's been 15 years. But really, it's been last year when you were talking about him.
Yeah,
time flies when you're nobody.
Blake Bortles has never had an outstanding season, though. I mean, honestly.
Wait, was what, Jacksonville last year? He filled in for Minshew, or was that the dude who's in New York?
He was at the Rams in 2019. He was out of the league last year. It looks like.
He was at some point he was behind Gardner Minshew.
He played, I
don't know if that
thought.
was last year or the year before. Yeah, they were both in Jacksonville.
He left Jacksonville after 2018. He started 13 games that season.
Oh, who was the guy that went to New York?
The Jets or the Giants?
The Giants. What's his name? Because that's who I'm confusing Blake Bortles with, who played in Jacksonville last year when Gardner Minshew got hurt. What's his name, dude? It's right there.
Mike Glennon?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's the same guy, basically. Blake Bortles and Mike Glennon.
Yeah, I get them confused, but they both played at some point for Jacksonville, so it's easy to get them confused when they both played for a trash can.
And, yeah, Mike Glennon played for Jacksonville last year.
Yeah, when Mustache Man got hurt, he hurt his thumb.
Mike Glennon actually has some seasons. Well, no, not really. He's got a couple seasons where he played only a couple games and did well, but I didn't realize that he was in Las Vegas in 2019.
Well, yeah, because you only ever hear about Derek Carr since I was in high school. I think the year I graduated, Derek Carr went to the Raiders, and that's all they've had.
Yeah, you haven't heard much backup talk there. You just hear about Carr.
Other than Marcus Mariota, he's the only Raider quarterback you've heard about other than Derek Carr.
Yeah, I think Mariota is – I think he's
better than Derek Carr. I like Marcus Mariota actually a lot. And when he filled in for Derek Carr because he hurt his PP, he did really good. I'm a big fan. I'm a Mariota fan. I mean, I was never a Tennessee fan, but I wish they would have given him more of a chance there.
I agree with that. I think Tennessee was a good fit for him. I mean, he didn't do fantastic, but he wasn't trash either.
But it's hard to do fantastic when if you're a quarterback when your best player is a running back.
Right.
You don't really get to show your talent that often unless you're digging yourself out of a hole. When you're a run-first team, that is literally the only way you get to show what you can do. And that is why, I feel like Lamar Jackson would have stayed looking like he looked in college if he didn't go to a run-first offense. If he would have went somewhere where, they had a dominant passing game, he would be able to continue throwing the ball and still be able to do what he does. And, all the running plays. I just think that, he was coming out of college, went to Baltimore, and started playing in this offense and got so accustomed to the run first that it's just it's more – I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but, it's almost like when you learn a second language and you do it, but as soon as you stop using it, you forget it.
Forget.
You remember the bases, but you can't speak fluently anymore if you don't use it. And I think that is the best comparison I can say for Lamar coming out of college, going to the big leagues to a run-first offense. He just got out of it, And so
he threw the ball well in Louisville. Yeah,
he threw the ball really well. Any type of throw too, short pass, long pass, he could do it all. But he got out of the habit of doing that when he went to a run-first offense, and it's just something, he just lost it.
Yeah.
Now he is not accurate at all.
No, everyone in Louisville, in the Louisville area, loved him because of how versatile he was. He could run and he could throw when he played there. Because I was working down at Dick's in Clarksville at the time, which is, of course, right across the river. And anytime we'd get any, Louisville jerseys in, they'd be all Lamar Jackson. And they would sell out within a day. That's how crazy it was.
Yeah, Lamar was very popular in this area because he was
Petty too.
he was dynamic. Louisville just didn't have the coaching nor the supporting cast to get him any further in the ACC that year.
Right.
You know, what do you think is going to be on the agenda for Thursday night? Where do you think we're going to be?
The NBA playoffs for sure, because I can't tell you what we're going to talk about yet because it hasn't happened. It's going to happen in the next couple of days. But I'm going to have a little more time to prepare for Thursday because I'm actually not scheduled to work that day. So that would be really good for me to put more of a better itinerary together, kind of like we did today. Me and you briefly talked about it last night, and I was able to think about it all day because we had a conversation that just got it in my brain, so it was fresh right there. But I think whatever happens at the start of the Cincinnati Reds post-sweep games, that could be a bad conversation or it could be a really good conversation.
Yeah,
also, before we get, I know which direction you're going in right now, but we didn't mention it when we were talking about the Reds. So during their game yesterday, when Jesse Winker hit his second or third home run, he tied his number of home runs in a year, like his career stat. So it's only June. He's going to blow his record out of the water this year. And
Absolutely.
So I just think that's phenomenal, the growth he's had just this season. He's only been in there for, 3 years?
He has been insane this season.
He's still got arbitration years. They can hold on to him for a while. But if it was me and anybody in the Cincinnati Reds organization eventually ever watches this, you should go ahead and lock him up long-term because he's going to be a stud for a long time to come.
I mean, if you can lock him and Nick up right now, I think that would be really good. Nick is still Nick wants to win, and if they don't do well by the end of the season, he might not stay.
He'll be out. He's got the option. He's in line to win the batting title, and he will go.
But he said it in that first week interview. When he got in Woodford's face and screamed, and he did that post game interview, which was the greatest baseball post game interview I'd ever watched. He said it. He was like, "Man, we were winning, I want to win. My whole career I've spent losing. I want to win." And so, if they don't turn things around, start winning, he's not going to stay, and it's going to hurt our team.
And I hate to say this because I hate to look like it, but seeing it from a business side, if they don't make some more substantial improvements on winning this division, if they slip again here in the next couple of days, they may trade him at the trade deadline.
I think they're in a fight to keep him.
I think he might be a little smarter than that right now.
In baseball.
I mean,
I don't know why you said what you said. But I don't agree with it from a fan standpoint and from a Cincinnati Reds management standpoint. I think they'll fight for him. They just put his poster outside of Great American Ballpark. I think they fight for him.
They put that poster out there because it's the most watched YouTube highlight this season of anybody. And it's because it showed passion and emotion for the team. But guess what? He has the ability to opt out. If he opts out next year, and they falter down the stretch, why not trade him? If you don't think you're going to actually compete, why not get something for him in return before you lose him? Because he's got that. He's in control of his own contract, and if they don't do well, he's not staying.
That's what I'm saying. I understand if he leaves, if they start doing shitty again and just keep going down to the toilet, he's definitely gone. He said it. He said, "I want to win. I spent my entire career losing. I want to win." For all we know, he's going to be on the Dodgers team. It's just what happens.
Yeah, they pretty much can't afford him right now, but they can afford to let go of some of their other high-paid guys.
I mean, they can afford anything they want, so.
Yeah, he looks like a Yankee to me.
That would break my heart, honestly. He does look like a Yankee, but it breaks my heart even. Just the thought of that right there just stung. Hey, what's up, Amanda?
That's
Thanks for
the thing.
stopping by.
I can't get used to her being united in sports.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, if you look at the chat, if you can see, well, from StreamYard, I know you can see the profile picture. You can at least see Philip. So, yeah, see, you can at least see Philip and know that it's one of them.
Yeah, I know. I'm not used to the name yet.
It'll grow on you. I've been seeing it around for a while, so I know instantly with her podcast and stuff.
So I really hope we're talking about going for a sweep or sweeping the Brewers. That would be really nice on Thursday.
Oh yeah. I mean, hopefully we're having that conversation. But so like I said, for Thursday, that conversation could go either way. It could be a really bad conversation that we don't want to have, or it can be a really good conversation like the one we had today. So yeah, that one is definitely there. The NBA playoffs, whatever crazy shit decides to happen, the Hawks go on to keep winning. That would be a good topic, if it happens, because I think they're the underdog that no one is ready for. Honestly.
Trae Young has been putting in so much work with that team. It's insane.
Talk about one more thing about Trae Young is that he's a guy that was in college that absolutely believed in himself when they were telling him, hey, stop shooting the ball from 30 foot. There's more to offense than you just shooting the ball, but he kept shooting. And you know what? He cost them a season. He cost them a season in the NCAA tournament. And then he goes to the NBA and they think his average is down, his percentage is down. He just keeps shooting because he believes in himself. And now he's starting to carry a team, and he's on the verge of being a superstar.
Hey, quick question. So that Tiger kid from UCLA, how old is he? Like, what year of school is he in? That's what I meant by that.
I think he's only in his second. I think he's in his sophomore season.
Oh, Tiger Campbell.
Yeah, the Tiger kid. Dude, that's probably my favorite college basketball player right now.
Yeah, he's a sophomore this year, so that means he's got 2 more seasons.
If he stays. But when that kid gets to the NBA, I'll probably buy a jersey no matter where he goes. I have to say when he gets there because he's going.
Yeah, I mean, his stats as a freshman and a sophomore, his shooting's a little behind for a point guard.
But he's a badass, dude. Despite not being able to make every single shot, he's just talented. He's got a good basketball IQ.
Oh, yeah, he definitely got good sports IQ. I mean, he played a really good game against Gonzaga in the national semifinal.
I mean, his whole run was good in the March Madness.
Yeah, he played a really good game against.
They were the underdogs. They were the inside the dirt underdogs, and they almost made it to the final.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, they should have beat Gonzaga that day.
I mean, they're the reason Gonzaga didn't go undefeated.
Oh yeah. Oh,
they destroyed them. They wore them out, and they didn't stand a chance.
They were definitely the 6th man for Baylor that day because
they 100%. Yeah, they wore them out, and that's the same reason the Heat didn't win a ring last year because they put everything in it and got wore out in the second to last game. And so when they played their last game, they just got dominated, and because they were tired. And that was Gonzaga in the finals. UCLA gave them a run for their money. They were not expecting that.
I'm so pumped for college basketball. I can't even explain how fired up I am.
Your videos have gotten me so excited for college basketball. Shelby is not going to be excited for Indiana University basketball, but I don't care.
Look at her right there. I mean, you know what? But you got to support your homies.
She's loyal. That's what matters. Loyalty is important, especially in sports, man. I don't like just the bandwagon shit. Loyalty is important. And so I'm not going to be a bandwagoner because I grew up in an IU family. So I'm allowed to get excited about them now at the age of 24. Well, will be 25. So I've got a lot of IU gear actually.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's fun. The IU Kentucky rivalry used to be huge in the 70s and the 80s. I mean, it was
I mean, it used to be huge in when I was in high school, but now they're big babies.
And then they rekindled it, and then
no one wants to play each other.
And now, it was Calipari that ended it. It was supposed to be a home-on-home series. Calipari thought it deserved to be played on a neutral court so that they could get revenue for the schools. Calipari wanted it for the business sense. But
wouldn't home-on-home, bring business for...
Not near as much as neutral site games.
No, because the home-on-home games have more student tickets sold.
Yep. That makes sense.
Free. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So
I didn't think about it that way. I was thinking about the non-students because there's more. I think there's more non-students at University of Kentucky games than there are students.
Well, there's also the season ticket holders and stuff like that too. So you have to think.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, if you play
I just feel like,
then
why not play 3 games a year then?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see the rivalry come back, but I don't think it'll happen in the Calipari era.
I just got kicked the shit out of my whole life because I went to a school where you either liked the University of Kentucky or the University of Louisville, and I was like, well, my dad's an IU fan, so that means I'm an IU fan. So I got the shit kicked out of me.
You had one friend in school over that.
No, he wasn't my friend, dude, but I had one teacher. He was not my friend. He was nobody's friend. Yeah. But I loved him. He didn't love anything but fire and puppies. That was his 2 joys in life: fire and puppies. And he was a phenomenal teacher. All he said all the time was, "Sit down and shut up." And if anybody pissed him off, he just pulled up IU highlights beating Kentucky, which was just so funny to me. It was the one time I didn't get bullied.
Yeah, the Watford shot really must have made some of them kids angry because.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think about it. 15-year-olds who the University of Kentucky is their life. That is their life. It's like football for me. It's like what Shelby was in high school. It was their life. That really shuts up a crowd when there was only 2 IU fans in the room.
And it was the opposite for me. All my teachers were IU fans, and I was.
You went to school in Indiana, though. I went to school in Indiana.
It was just flipped it.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been the outcast because there was a lot of people that on the southern half of Indiana. So it's really more even. So it's more of a rivalry here than it is, say in Bloomington. Bloomington doesn't look at it as a rivalry so much, but if you're on the border down here. It's a rivalry game. Now, Indiana and Louisville don't have that same stigma of rivalry. They both have it with Kentucky, and that's due to the amount of years and dominance that program has displayed over time in college basketball. There's been a lot of great coaches go through there. Been a lot of great teams. So it's easy to not like or jump on the bandwagon to bash. And
there's a big thing that has, stayed with me no matter what the topic is my entire life is I don't like things.
You don't like things?
Full of University of Kentucky fans. Sorry, I cut out. But I don't like things that everybody likes. So going to school in a school full of just Kentucky fans made me not want to be a part of that. I hated it. And so not only you being an IU fan and that, shaping my views on college basketball from a person who doesn't really like college or basketball in general, that just going to that school, maybe, it would have been different. If we went to school 5 minutes, if I went to high school 5 minutes from Bloomington, I would not be an IU fan. Most likely I would just not like them because that's what everybody liked.
Dare to be different.
That's how I am with everything. It doesn't matter. It's not just sports.
I mean, I grew up, most of my friends were IU or Louisville fans, family members, IU fans, neighbor, IU fan. It's just one of those things that everyone was an IU fan around me, and I was just like, nah.
Yeah, I can always get on board with Florida State.
I mean, yeah, that is my, other school. You know, it's just like football. You have your team and then you have your other team. Like every Bengals fan, you're like, hey, who's your favorite football team? And like the Bengals. And I'm like, yeah, but who's your other favorite football team? Because like it's the same in every sport and everything. So Florida State is my underdog, my other team. I'm not gonna call them an underdog because they do great in their categories, but like they're my dark side of the moon team.
My team for that, it's really funny because it's another SEC team, is USC, South Carolina. Like,
Now,
most people are like, what the hell? But, like, it really comes from, like, their women's sports more than anything. Because I've never really followed Kentucky's women's sports. But I followed, like, Tennessee for a little while, and then I moved on to USC.
Well, yeah. I know why you followed Tennessee women's sports.
Well, yeah. Same reason everyone else does or did. Pat Summitt.
Yeah, there's not a better coach. So anyway, Thursday is going to probably yield some definitely interesting topics, and we really don't know where we're going to be at. I think that's kind of cool, not having any idea where we're going to be at on Thursday. The Reds are 50-50 right now. The NBA, we don't know.
The NBA is 50-50. I mean, who knows? We might have a Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers answer by then. Every day we get one day closer. We're under 100 days before football season starts. So every day there is a very high % chance we're going to get answers to that because it's got to get figured out soon before preseason. Like there's like 95 days until the first regular season game, which means you got to think we got 3 preseason weeks, so that's 3 more weeks to take off from that number. We're getting really close. Their deadline is coming up to getting shit figured out, and so every day you don't know, you're gonna wake up and see what's gonna happen with that. I'm putting my money on. Final answer before anything happens: Aaron Rodgers will be a Denver Bronco. That's what I'm sold on.
I agree with it.
Yep, and then we will, once that happens, we will be the
AFC. You know what? I could see this happening. Aaron Rodgers trade for Teddy Bridgewater and draft picks. And Teddy Bridgewater will be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. That is my bold prediction for this situation.
It definitely works out. I mean, it
works out for both parties.
The same scenario could work out for Las Vegas, though, because
I don't want that to happen. I would rather see Rodgers a Bronco than a Raider.
I would too.
Look, it makes more sense. Look, I know what's desirable about Vegas. Other than the team itself, like there's parts of that team that is really good, but as a whole, the team is shit. The parts that Aaron Rodgers would want is really good. And then like the location and the fan base is incredible. If you're a Raiders fan, the Raiders fan base is incredible. They're the most loyal fans. They've traveled with them everywhere, so everything, from being a star's point of view, it's fairly desirable to go to Vegas. But I think it still makes more sense to go to Denver. Look, the problem with Denver last year, Drew Lock didn't pan out as well as I thought he would, but he also spent half of the season basically injured, his shoulder, because he got hit really hard. But the problem with the Denver Broncos, and I said this all last year, and is that their entire team is so young. They don't have very many veterans. It's all a very, very young team. And bring a guy like Aaron Rodgers in and, a veteran leader, as much as a crybaby is, I don't care. He is a veteran. Young players look up to people like Aaron Rodgers. And, I think it would be great in the locker room. I think it would be great performance on the field. They got Jerry Jeudy. They've got a young potential star, just like JJ in Minnesota. Young star wide receivers. They have a solid defense. I mean, they almost beat the Chiefs twice. Like they were both close games. Well, one of them was. I have to take that back. One of their games was really close. Granted, divisional, yes, but they held their own within their division. They didn't win any of them, but they held their own. It wasn't like they just got blown out. And so, I think everything about and because they know it's going to make the Broncos favored, more with Rodgers being there. I think it'll bring a winning mentality. As much as I don't agree completely, I think it will. I think it would actually turn that Broncos team around a little bit and help those guys grow up and grow smarter and get better.
Well, that's exactly the same scenario when you go back to when Denver brought in Peyton Manning and let go of Tim Tebow. I mean, it ruined Tim Tebow's career, but it was the right choice for Denver. And it took a team that had the potential to win into a winner. So, but if Aaron Rodgers ends up in the AFC West, whichever team he ends up in makes that division way more interesting. Because right now it looks like a 2-horse race for sure.
Yeah, it's Herbie and Mahomes. Dude, God, I can't get over how much of a Justin Herbert fan I am. Like, I can't let it go. Like, I just want to watch him play football all the time. It's like Burrow, I got more excited for Bengals football when he got there. The last couple of years I watched it because I love the game and I love all football, I was watching games last year that I had no interest in at all because I just love football. But I wasn't excited about the Bengals because I was just so used to them losing that it was just like whatever. But they could have won at least 10 games last year, how they were playing. Even when Burrow went out, they went through like a 2-game slump and then they started rallying again back when they beat Pittsburgh, And so there is so much potential now. And Joe Burrow has brought excitement and life to that team again, which it's been gone for a couple years.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of the phase of, that they kind of did Andy wrong.
No, they definitely did Andy wrong. I thought it was really funny. I hate to say it, but I thought it was really funny that they benched him on his birthday. But now that I say that, I feel bad because I laughed about it.
And that's just how there you go. That's how stupid Zach Taylor really is. At that point, you know what? Let's just go ahead and say, hey, let's call it for the season. Let's go ahead and see what we can get for him now, because there was a lot of quarterbacks that were hurt at that time, and teams needed a quarterback at the trade deadline. And you could have eliminated some salary for the rest of the season. You could have started your prep for next year, and you could have gave him at least some honor and dignity and how he ended up leaving the team.
Yeah, because when they benched him, it was right after the trade deadline.
Right.
Days, not even weeks, days after the trade deadline.
They announced that they were sitting him the day of or the day after the trade deadline.
No, it was definitely after, but it was
the day after. But either way, it was so close.
It was so shitty. Everything was shitty about it because he would have gotten out. Someone would have taken him, and it probably would have been Dallas, and he probably wouldn't have got killed last year.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been Dallas, that's for sure, because they didn't need one at the time. It would have been he would have either went to Jacksonville, Carolina, or Philadelphia, I think, was the ones that they were talking about.
I think he would have done really, really well at either Jacksonville or Philadelphia.
I have high hopes for him this year. I know their ultimate goal is to put Justin Fields in by middle of the year, but if Andy does well and stays doing well, they're not going to just bench him because they have a starter or a star on their bench. They're going to let him play as long as he's doing well.
Yep,
despite whether Fields is ready or not. And I think he actually has a chance to do really well. And I think if Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, that Chicago could take that division for the first time in a long time.
And here's the deal. And then here you go. Because, what I've heard several times from different news media in Chicago when I listen to them on the radio is that, they're looking for half a season out of him. They're looking, just the time to get him ready get Justin Fields' in-depth knowledge of the offense and how it plays. But here's the thing. If he makes it through October and has a good season, and then they decide that even though they're winning, they're going to go ahead and move Justin Fields up, then they got trade collateral again. You know what? If they're lacking a linebacker or whatnot, you've got your new starter ready to go.
And you still got Nick Foles.
Yeah, I don't think he'll end up being there.
That's true.
We don't know yet, though.
I think they'll get rid of him. True.
Well, I mean, nobody's offered to take him, so. But anyway, long story short,
I could see Nick Foles being a Texan.
I could too.
Yeah.
As weird as that is.
Anyway, sorry.
But so long story short, this is Andy's last chance at redemption. If he doesn't play well, he's out of the league next year. If he does play well, he might get traded at the deadline and get to help a team finish the season and get a new contract. But I really think it's make or break for him. But he's in the best situation he's been in since about 2014, and
that's playoff year, right?
Yeah,
I thought so. Was that the 8-8 season?
No, that was their 12-4 season.
Yeah.
Well, that was the year after. Yeah, the year after the
8-8 was the year before. As much as I didn't like him in Cincinnati, looking back on it now, I'm like, okay, he wasn't that bad, and
no, it wasn't his fault. Nothing was his fault.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I'm actually excited to see him play in Chicago.
No, I am ecstatic. Look, I talked a lot of shit about him, but that was because you can only lose for so long before it's just like now you just hate everybody. Like you hate everybody for every mistake that happens. It's your fault instantly. It's always the coaches. It's always the coaches. But in that time frame of our lives, it was just like we're so sick of seeing him. Like you're not even trying to put someone else in and try something different. If this isn't working, try something new.
And I think a lot of that.
I never really truly hated him though. Like he is such a good quarterback. He just didn't get the chance. He had 0.2 seconds to throw the ball every play. He had to throw the ball, or he was eating the ground.
They never.
Or he was still eating the ground either way.
Or he had plenty of time, and his guys were just never open, so he just stood there with the ball
until he got hit.
There were things that he could have done to make it better, but I just don't think that his head was in it.
I still think that it comes down to the way he was coached.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Agreed. Yeah, the 2014 season, Cincinnati went 10-5-1, and that was the year they lost to the Colts first round of the playoffs.
Understandably so.
Well, I'm going to roll. It's almost 2 hours. I need to be doing other things. Got a video at 9 o'clock tonight. It has a little history lesson for somebody in our area. Kind of cool. But
we'll try not to miss.
Most people wouldn't really care, but it's kind of cool.
We'll try not to miss this one.
Well, yeah, we completely missed that one. But I forgot where I was going. Yeah, we missed it. I was losing my mind last stream towards the end there. So our last Monday stream, I should say, it was bad.
But I am ready to rock. So we've been at it for an hour and 50 minutes. Jesus, it doesn't seem like that long, does it?
No, dude, our first hour flew. It felt like 20 minutes. And, good conversation flows.
All right. Well, I'm calling it down. Are you guys done or are you going to stay on?
I don't like to be put on the spot.
I'm good to call it. We got some cards to open.
We do got some cards to open. Shelby's mom bought us some cards, and she wants us to open them, so now is the best time to do that.
Yep. Well, I got to record for almost a whole hour. I got lined up videos to do, so I will see you guys maybe at 9 o'clock. Thanks everybody for stopping in. Card Sharks, Ohio River history, and it's in the blood. like, subscribe, and share. And then also, you know what? Get on your social media and share some of our stuff, because that is the one thing that will increase growth is if we get it out there on social media. And
we're getting close to our 200 subscriber mark.
Isn't that amazing? It doesn't seem like it's taken very long, has it?
That's crazy.
But anyway, we got
the Mets game just started, so we'll have that to talk about also. And anybody who's in here, like Dad said, thanks for stopping by. We always appreciate you, and I cannot wait to talk to all of you guys again on Thursday.
Absolutely.
See ya.